Question: how many of you would like to be confident in speaking in front of the room? Like, this question comes a lot from the newbies, speakers and trainers, because the biggest problem they have is, I do not know how to speak confidently in front of people. If you have this question, then this is for you. So before I start explaining this, I would like you to do me a favor. That is, if you haven't hit the subscribe button before, I would like you to do it now so that my videos, including all that I have already uploaded in the past, will be able to reach out to a wider group of audiences. Will you be able to do it for me? Thank you. And also hit the bell and get notified so that you know when my next video is going to be uploaded on the channel, and that would be fantastic. So thank you for helping me on this. Now, coming back to this question, confidence. Like, how do I get this confidence speaking in front of the room? As I remember how I started the journey, that was back in year 2000. Many years ago. The day that I'm recording this video is in year 2020, so it's like 2 decades ago. How am I speaking in front of the room? Well, that was a story about me, Jack Wong. I was working in PricewaterhouseCoopers that time in the tax department. I received a call, and from the training department, this guy actually asked, looking for Jack Wong, and of course I answered, yes, my name is Jack. Yeah. Are you from tax department? Yes, I'm Jack from tax department. Well, I want you to go to National University of Singapore because I want you to run a tax training for 150 people about taxation. Would that be okay? I said, okay, why not? So I went down to NUS, and the training manager looked at me, I looked at him. Obviously, we did not know each other. And he asked, are you Jack? I said, yeah, I'm Jack. But I'm not looking for you, I'm looking for Jack Wong from tax department. Then I found out that in the tax department that year, we have got 2 Jack Wong in the tax department. So that's my story as how I started speaking in front of the room, and my first gig was 150 people. How many of you would love to be to have this? I cannot promise you that your first gig will be like this. It just happened to me. But the question is that before I even say yes to him, and he asked me, are you able to speak to 150 people in NUS about tax? The first thing I found that being confident is, first of all, you've got to know your subject very well. Because if you're not the expert in your topic, you start talking like oh, ma, So no matter how you say, you won't be confident. You won't be confident. And your participants, your learners can smell. That's the thing. You must know that you are the subject matter expert. Like if you are doing entrepreneurship, are you an entrepreneur? If you are doing sales training, are you in sales? Have you done sales in your life before? Like in my case, since I'm a tax practitioner for a quarter of the decade now, so of course I can talk about taxation, like the goods and services tax. I can just do it like that, right? So that is how you build your confidence, by being the subject matter experts. Number 2, even though you're a subject matter expert, you may still have this fear standing in front of the room because you are talking to strangers. Like most of the trainings I know, you will be meeting someone you have never met before. And of course, depends on the situation. You may have met somebody you know before. So the chances are you will meet strangers, you will meet familiar faces. So this is what I will do in my training. How I build confidence. Number 1, I will look at the room and see who are the familiar faces. Because the first thing that I do is to say hello to these people, glad to see you again, build rapport and rebuild rapport, because they have seen me before and they are coming again, and they will be the people in my camp. So if I do my part to acknowledge them first, now instead of me speaking to a stranger, now I've got more people on my side speaking to the stranger. So I'm actually leverage my relationship with some of the learners I met before to do that. And that was particularly in the trainings that I do for professional bodies. Because some of these people, they are coming in once a year to see me to upgrade their tax knowledge. And that pretty works very well. So I ask this question, how many of you have not seen me before? Like, I do recognize that. I know some of you, like, I get to see you guys. Those who didn't raise hand, I'll say that, yeah, glad to see you again. Now, I may not know their name, but I can remember the face, or I'll just say sometimes, well, glad to see you again. Like, it's a very generic terms, glad to see you again. But I didn't say when. I didn't say which course that I've met you before. It's like, glad to see you again. It's just a gentle, warm acknowledgement, and you have got these people in your camp. Okay, so that is how I build my confidence. Number 3, that is the key, practice. I can't say enough about practice. Like, I've run courses which literally I know what to say, how to say. Like, on this slide, this is what I'm going to say, this is the story I'm telling, and the reason why I can do that is that I've been presenting a topic like many times. I won't say it 1,000 times. That is 夸张, that is over-exaggerating. But some of the topics that I present, literally I know what to say, how to say, because I've reached level. In my last video, I talked about competency level, right? So when you reach the stage from literacy to fluency to mastery, you become so good that you see a slide, you know what to do already. So yes, I do have situations whereby the slides, once are shown on the screen, I know what to say. But how do I get to the level? Well, basically, it's what I would call practices. Well, did I screw up very first time when I practiced the slides? Of course. Like, Jack is not the guru in speaking and training. All I'm saying is that I just happened to start practicing earlier than many people. And if you ask me, like, have I gone for any public speaking training or courses? The answer is that I have not. The only 2 courses that I went for, like if you say the 2 courses, trainer, yeah, making the stage is one of them. Like, making the stage, and then Joe Bauer's Profit Point. So in terms of like public speaking, I don't even call them public speaking, they are speakers training. So I have not been to any Toastmaster. I didn't do all this very elegant way of speaking with good articulation. And how many of you noticed that in my video that I didn't really speak proper English? Like, the fact is this, some people are very fussy about the grammatical mistake. Now, I am fussy about that when it comes to academic, because academic has certain level of scholastic or scholarship credentials, which means that yes, I do expect professionally and grammatically correct opinion. That's the key. However, in terms of speaking, I have never come across with any speaker, whether you are American or you are Chinese, you are Malays, you speak perfect English. Because what is perfect English in the first place? To me, perfect English means that it is universal, no mistake. It's universally agreed that there's no mistake. But let me ask you this question: like, what is considered mistake in the first place? It's like, well, let me show you the data. Well, it's not data, it's data. Well, the fact is that data is used by Aussies, okay? Not Aussies, it's Australians, okay? And then data is Americans and the English and the British. So the question is that because of the slang, the accent, because we are living in a global village, you could have spoken a word or 2 which other people don't understand. Does it make you an idiot? Does it mean that you are making mistake? So therefore, because of these cultural differences, I always understand one thing, that I will never speak perfect English, because to me, there's no such thing called perfect English. Even for other language, perfect Chinese, I don't understand what is perfect Chinese as if I know that is. My point is that it's not about what I say, it's about how I say to you. So to me, the context is more important than the content. So how do I get confident to speak in front of the room, to speak to strangers? These are the 3 steps, remember. Number 1 is basically the subject matter expert. I do know what I say. Like, if you ask me on a topic about nutrition, I would die. Because no matter how many times I practice, because I'm not the subject matter expert, I won't be the one training nutrition. I would rather outsource it to my nutrition specialist and let him or her do the job. So subject matter. Number 2, which is the key, leverage the people you know in the room so that they are now part of your camp. So give you some more confidence. And therefore, the last thing is that you practice as many times as possible. Like your first skate, it will be ugly. I won't even want to comment like how good my first gig was. It's terrible. But the point is that when you do more, you'll be very fluent. Like I recall, like this is March. The time when I'm recording this video is March, and it's coming soon. March 12, 2012. March 12, 2012. That was the first time I did my 30-second video. I was scared to death because I've never done any video online. I've never done any single video. So that was the day I did my 30 seconds. Now you see, after so many years, I can literally speak in front of you for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, sometimes 20 minutes, and I couldn't stop. Why? Because again, it requires practices. So the third point is all about practices. Practice will reach from the literacy to fluency, and the more practices you have, the faster you reach from fluency to mastery. And that's my take on this. Does that make sense? Comment below. So there's no science behind how you become more confident. And you do feel good sometimes when you have a very good gig and you say, well, I've done a good job, so I have a pat on my shoulder and say, good job, awesome. And sometimes what I do is that I will celebrate. I will celebrate by pampering myself, go for a good coffee or a nice cheesecake to pamper myself and say, hey, good job. This is an awesome gig. Like that is a celebration. It's like my own, I call it the Jack Wong's self-rewarding system. Like I reward myself for good performances. Then how do I know whether it's good performances? Well, I can feel it. If I know there's a good day for me, I can feel it. But if it's a lousy day, like it's not so good, then I'll just do reflection and ask, like, what can I do next time to become better? So there's a reflection, there's a rewarding system that I put into myself. So you can do the same thing. I hope that you understand that confidence does not come over time. That does not come overnight. The key thing is that confidence will only come over time. It will take time for you to get confidence. But if you don't practice, you've only just present the gig one time and you say, shit man, I don't know how I can do it another time. Do it again. But no, just do it again. You will just get better and better. And when you receive feedback, if people give you feedback and you improve it, that is even helping you to become a better and more effective speaker, trainer, and facilitator. Does that make sense? Comment below. Okay, so I hope that you enjoy what I share with you about getting confidence by speaking in front of the room. It's very simple, it's not hard, but it is something that you need to accept and go through this. Okay? All right, so if you have any other questions on speaking, training, and facilitation, comment below. I will consider answering some of these questions in the form of future videos. Would that be okay? Awesome. So my name is Jack Wong. I hope our path crosses in future videos. And once again, all I'm sharing with you will only work when you work it. Okay? Thanks very much for watching. Signing off now, and all good wishes.